Hey there, Epic investors. Matt here from Epic Real Estate, where we show people how to invest in real estate with an emphasis on retiring early. And today we're going to talk about some creative closings with a newer REIA student who I've been working with this year, just a few months. And, she's really put her head down. She's worked hard. She's already closed deals. And rumor has it she's already quit her job. And I just want to catch up to see what she's up to now and just kind of let you in on what she's doing to have created so much nice success here, all in less than, let's see, 90 days working together. Alrighty. So before we begin, if this is your first time here, really glad that you found us. If you like what you hear, make sure you hit the subscribe button before you go. And if this is not your first time here, welcome back. And thank you for sharing this with your friends and family. You're the absolute best for doing that. And so I really appreciate that. Thank you. By the way, if you'd like to look into working together one-on-one in the way that I have with our guest today, you can head over to reiace.com and answer a few short questions about yourself and your goals. And then, you can pick a time for us to hop on the phone and brainstorm some ideas around getting you to where you want to go with your real estate investing. That's over at reiace.com. All righty. So without further ado, please help me welcome Miss Christina Lopez to the show. Christina, welcome.
Hi, Matt. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we're able to coordinate this. So super. Thanks for taking time out of your day, because I know you're busy, right? I know you're doing deals, and I can't wait to talk all about it. But before we start, what specific challenge or maybe problem that you're trying to overcome or solve before you came to us and decided to work with Epic?
Well, I think really what I was trying to decide is, after 26 years in the corporate world, what did I want to do when I grow up? And I think also, what could I do to create that passive income stream? And so after moving back to the US, because I had been living abroad for 16 years, I was doing a lot of research. And I think the model that you have put together was brilliant. And it really set me on a path. I was introduced to real estate last year in July when I was helping my then boyfriend with his development business. And I thought there has to be another way to do this much faster, to build a portfolio. And that's when I discovered Epic.
Got it. And so what would it have meant to you personally if you were able to have solved that problem?
Well, honestly, it just meant for me to be able to take care of my family. I've got a daughter who's going into med school. I've got a son, a granddaughter, and I really wanted to be able to enjoy more time. So more time to travel with them, have the flexibility to come and go and visit the family.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what we all kind of want, is the freedom that the real estate will give us, and indirectly the money that the real estate gives us, and how we can put it all together to do the things that are most important to us. So super duper. All right. So I wrote down some notes here because there was something specific that I wanted to really reach out to you, but I know you've done a lot more, so we'll talk about a lot more than this. But it's about a rather creative close that you were able to put together, a deal you were able to put together right away. You came to the summit back in December.
Yes.
And you came to the accelerator in January, and you were already working on a deal at the time. So just like in less than 30 days, you'd already had the first deal going. And then, but as a specific one, he hit me up in February, a deal that you were working on in Houston. By the way, is that your market, or are you doing this virtually?
I'm doing this virtually. So
Okay,
I live in Texas. I focus predominantly in San Antonio, but now I'm expanding to other parts of Texas, New Mexico, and New York.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, great. I can't wait to dive into that. But this specific deal, you had under contract with somebody that was selling their property, a father, right?
Yes.
And I have no idea how this ended up, so hopefully it was a good one. But the scenario that you painted out was a scenario that comes up not exactly in this manner, but the way that you'd have to close it comes up frequently. And it was where the father wanted the cash, or the seller wanted the cash, but there was somebody lined up ready to buy it that would have been willing to purchase it seller financing.
That's
and that
correct.
was actually, just coincidentally, it happened to be the son. But can you kind of explain to me how that how you found this deal, and then how it played out, how we got to that point?
Well, one of the things I started doing right away is, when I looked at the pipeline of how deals are made in terms of finding deals and then funding them, the whole process, I realized that the one piece that it's going to take me time is really on the lead generation. So I went out and right away started making friends with wholesalers, because I thought, if I can start making friends with wholesalers in the short term and start learning about deals and how deals are structured, that would help to advance what I was trying to do. So I actually befriended someone in Houston who kind of told me about the situation where someone wanted to sell their house to their son, but the son couldn't afford the financing. So creative minds got together, and I agreed to go ahead and buy the house from the father so that I could get the financing to release the funds that the father needed. The son turned around and actually purchased it from me, seller financing at $30,000 more. So I got a $30,000 down payment, which essentially paid for my down payment.
Right.
And then I have a 30-year note at 10 points per year and a 5-year buy down prepaid penalty.
Okay, perfect. So you purchased the property with a form of financing,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
So the seller got all of their cash.
Yes.
And then you immediately were able to resell it via seller financing for $30,000 more.
Yes.
That's accurate? Okay, perfect. All right, so there was one little challenge that we were I remember you texting me like, I can't believe this. Are these numbers okay? It feels too good to be true.
Yes.
Which I thought, and we get that a lot. I was like, well, did you want the one that was too bad to be false? Is that what you're really looking for? But it was too good to be true. But there was a little bit of some safety precautions we had to put in there to make sure that we executed this, because the danger there, or the potential risk, is you go ahead and you buy this property and you take on the loan. You now own the property, and then the son or the buyer, whoever that might have been, changes their mind.
Yes.
And now you're stuck with this property that maybe you don't want, right? So how are you able to secure that and make sure that that didn't happen?
Well, I was able to work with the title companies on this and put the down payment right away into earnest money. So we signed the 2 contracts simultaneously.
The buyer's down money. The buyer's down.
So as soon as we were able to, because I had to put a down payment, and we released the funds from escrow within 24 hours, then they had to put their $30,000 down. So what I did is I just timed the signings of those 2 to make sure I at least had the down payment, and I already had the contract in hand from the new buyer.
Okay, perfect. So you basically were able to get the down payment from the buyer, and have that released to you before you even closed, right?
Correct.
Very good. So if everything went to poop, at least you walked away with 30 grand.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So super. So you did that perfectly, just like a champ. So there's a happy ending there, and that one was closed on just a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, about a week ago.
Okay. Very good. So everything playing out, and the son's happy, and the seller's happy.
The seller's happy, son's happy, everyone's happy. He doesn't have to move. Dad's got the money that he needed, and I've got a long-term tenant.
Perfect. Well, you have a long-term buyer, right?
Long-term buyer, really.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So are you happy then? That would be the big question.
I was happy because the numbers are good. So essentially, by getting the 30,000 back, there was really no money out of my pocket, other than I think $1,000 was the difference between the numbers of finance appraisals, everything. So it's $1,000 out of my pocket only. But my profit per month is I'm making over $500 profit on this property.
That's fantastic. And since you're not the owner, then they're responsible for all the repairs and the maintenance on the property.
Repairs, maintenance, insurance, the whole 9 yards.
No property manager?
No property manager.
Right? You don't need one. It's their property. That's why I love these deals. That's good. All right. So then you sent me a little Voxer. That's how we communicate here. And you said you had 2 houses done in January and 2 deals under contract in February.
Yes.
Were these in addition, or are these including the ones that we just did?
Well, it was including the one we did. So I closed one more on top of that. I got a cute little house, off-market property for well below market price, which I had it tenanted already. It was tenanted already. So I have, that's now my 4th rental. And this month I've got 3 more under contract.
Oh, fantastic. So we're moving at full speed, and we've been working together. What's today? We're here in March. We started in December. So like we're less than really 90 days of actual work.
Yeah. And I went from corporate world to consulting for 2 years. And even though I loved consulting, I was also at the mercy of someone else. I really didn't have the flexibility I wanted. So on February 19th, I actually handed over my final consulting client to one of my great peers. And so I've been full on since February 19th doing this full time.
Fantastic. So we quit the old day job, and now we're doing this 100%. So great. All right. So that's a few deals that you've closed, and then you've got a few more under contract. I know you had said that, your purchase, or you started networking with wholesalers, and here at the summit, we show you, and inside of Epic Invested, a multitude of ways to go out and find deals. Is this how you're finding all of them, or is there a mix, or is there one that you're gravitating towards more than others?
It's a mix. I really wanted to hit the ground running, if you will. So I took a bit of what I call a shortcut through wholesalers, but it also got me into the right network of people. I'm
Hmm.
actually building my team. So I just hired my first VA. They're
Very
based
good.
out of the Philippines. So he's helping me now with contracts, creating offers, and doing that transaction portion of the deal. I'll
Hmm.
have another person starting next month who's going to do the marketing and help me with the calling. And I've got 3 people lined up in 3 different states who are going to now help me start searching for properties and contacting motivated sellers.
Fantastic. So let's look at wholesalers because this can be a really good source, and a lot of people discount it. I think of having those relationships, and I keep telling people it's a people business. I mean, this
Yeah.
the real estate you buy or sell is going to be from or to another person, and people that place their ads on Craigslist and they say, "Oh, I get our wholesalers calling me." It's like fantastic. I mean, every investor is going to be a buyer and a seller at some point. You need those people in your database. So, how were you able to start kind of building that network of wholesalers? What was your first step in doing that?
The first one was really just going to different websites that you had recommended. I went onto Facebook. I looked at some deals that were quite interesting or numbers that were interesting and just started sparking dialogue and conversations. And so
Hmm.
that's really how it worked. And now I have 6 different wholesalers who send me deals within a certain parameter. So I sent
Hmm.
them, these are the types of deals I'm looking for. These are the types of numbers.
Hmm.
And then they send them my way.
It's perfect. So that's how you basically initiate the conversation of saying, "Hey, an investor. This is what I'm looking for. Send them to
Correct.
me. I can close
Correct.
fast. I got cash. We're good to go."
And I think what really helped me too is you helped me to desensitize the deals, right? Because before when I look at a house, I look at it as a home. And I had to stop looking at it at
Mhm.
the lens of something that I would live in. Is it
Right.
do the numbers work? And I think
Right.
that's one of the biggest takeaways I had coming out of your workshops.
That's awesome. No, it's a great distinction. I mean, we all look at houses as, where we potentially could live. And as investors, we need to look at these things as little cash machines, right? They're little profit
Yes.
centers, right? Even if they're ugly, if they make money, I'm all for it. So super. All right. So kind of touching on that, what have been your 3 favorite things about working with Epic?
I think really I am a process driven person and I love the fact how you make everything so easy, right? It's logical, the steps are there. I mean, really, if you follow the program, it works.
Hmm.
I think the other thing too is the team has been fantastic, whether it's yourself or Tony or Jeremy. I mean, anybody on the team, Mercedes, they've always been there anytime I had a question. And I think really the transparency is the third thing that I appreciate. Because I remember a great conversation I had with Mercedes. And she said, "Yeah, I could get you some deals right away, but girl, you can do this yourself. And I'm
Hmm.
going to show you how." And I think I really appreciated that rather than me buying direct through you guys, she's like, "No, here, go out and do and make your own deals and find some great offers." So
Sweet. Well, super. Thanks for the feedback. I appreciate that. Um, so on the first deal, if you don't mind, and if you don't want to disclose this, I'm totally okay with this. But this is where I kind of want to shine a light on you and brag a
sure.
little bit and give people some real tangible numbers to go with. So on that first deal, we're making it took essentially $1,000 out of your pocket is what it actually cost you, and it's
Correct.
generating $500 a month.
Yes.
Share with me, if you can, what the others that you've closed and what your profits are there.
Sure. I've closed another small house. I was able to use some of my 401k, so I cashed it out. But the
Okay.
return on investment, it'll pay for itself in 5 years.
Hmm.
So that was a really good deal on that one. I managed to get 2 more rentals using hard money lenders, but I
So
I
on
have a
that one, I'm sorry, on that second
yes,
one that
yes.
you got your 401k, that's a rental.
It's a rental. So I bought it, I converted to a long-term rental.
Very good.
And
And the
with
and
the
the
I'm
cash flow on
making
that is.
is fantastic. Yeah, it's about $1,000 a month cash flow.
Oh, well, that is fantastic. So very
Yeah.
good. And then before we, okay, I'm going to come back to that one in a second, but go
Okay.
ahead and finish on the others.
On the other 2 rentals that I have, I am probably cash flowing about a little over 500 each.
500 each.
And they're on I got them on a loan. So I managed to get them on a long-term rental loan
Okay,
with
so
10% down.
fantastic. All right, these are really, really good deals. I mean, if you have leverage in there, you've only put 10% down and you're cash flowing $500 a month. This is fantastic. And all of these up to this point have come through your wholesaling network.
Yes.
That's great.
Oh,
So
sorry, all
congrats on
but
it.
one. One of them was a referral on a real estate client that her neighbor she knew wanted to sell. And so we exchanged numbers and I went and knocked on the door.
Very good. How did she know you were a real estate investor?
No, I was a real estate agent at the time. I was helping with a transaction on a true
Okay.
real estate agent transaction. And she
Uh-huh.
mentioned, oh, well, my neighbor eventually wants to sell. And I said, can you give me her contact information? And then I walked
Mhm.
over and introduced myself.
Oh, got it. So it was a previous relationship.
Yes.
Super. Great. Yes, all relationships count, past, present, and future. Um, let's go back to this 401k thing. And I
Yeah,
and I would imagine this is probably something that was sparked in your mind from the summit or maybe the accelerate. I'm not sure. But you withdraw that 401k.
I
And
did. I did a
Christina,
rollover. Rollover my 401k tax free.
okay, you did a rollover into what? Like a
I
self-directed?
Yes,
Okay, got it. All right. So you put that into a self-directed and you have $1,000 a month now going back into your self-directed 401k.
correct.
Perfect. All right. I thought we were going somewhere else, but that works too. I'm totally happy with that
Well,
if
I
you
did two different rollovers actually. So
are.
I
Okay.
did one rollover prior to Epic, which is what helped me to invest into Epic to begin with, is where I opened up
Hmm.
a C Corp. And then I
Okay.
rolled funds into a 401k plan with the C Corp. And then I invested into shares of the company. So
Got
that one
it.
is just making investments into the company through real estate transactions.
Gosh, there's another creative little strategy right there. So fantastic. Um, all right, cool. So what do you see for the future? What's looking ahead for you for the rest of this year?
Well, I want to acquire personally at least 12 single family rentals or rental units. They can be multifamily. I'm
Hmm.
working on two large deals right now. The one I texted you or I wrote to you about on Boxer hasn't closed yet because we're still negotiating price, but it's 8 duplexes. And
Oh,
so
nice.
that one will take a bit of time, I think, to negotiate. And then
Hmm.
I happened to come upon another one, which was 5 single family rentals sold as a bundle. So I'm negotiating that one as well. And some of my friends are really interested in what I'm doing. So I'm investing for other people. So I'm
Hmm.
helping them to build their portfolios as well.
Fantastic. You are the entrepreneur. Yeah, you didn't need that day job. You got this down. Very good. All right. So to finish this question for me, and this is great feedback for me, and I really appreciate you answering this. Just finishing this sentence. I almost didn't work with Epic because.
Because it was simple in terms of having the steps there that I thought, why isn't everybody doing this? It really has to be too good to be true.
Hmm. Hmm.
Quite honestly, and being transparent, coming back to the US after living 16 years abroad, a lot of people told me, be careful. There's a lot of schemes, there's a lot of things that look great and they sound great, but it's really just a marketing pitch. And what I found was it wasn't a pitch, it was a formula. And it was a formula to success and a formula to my financial freedom. And
Hmm.
I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't nailed it down yet. I'm picking the bits and pieces right now that I can do quickly. But as I grow and scale the team, I think I'll be able to get the whole system down pack.
Super. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, and I think your friend there's some truth in what they shared with you as well, because this is an industry that we face this challenge all the time of having to address those concerns that customers and clients have when they come to us. And I'm so grateful when they decide to move forward, and I'm grateful that you did as well, because we don't really fancy ourselves as a sales organization as most people do, and I think we're really an education organization.
Yes.
And we build relationships and we get emotionally attached. So Mercedes and I both love you, and we love you for sharing what you're doing, and we love you for just following through and doing the work and being a great example, because I know the community really appreciates it as well.
Thank you very much.
You bet. So thank you for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I'll let you get back to work, and then I hope to see you soon.
Talk to you soon. Take
All
care.
right. Take
Bye.
care. Thanks, Christina. All righty. So if you'd like to look into potentially working together, you can go to reiace.com. You can answer a few questions there and then just pick a time. We'll hop on the phone, and either it's a fit or it's not. Either way is 100% okay with us. But get your questions answered if you're even remotely intrigued, and we'll take it from there. And if it's not a good fit, we can give you some great ideas and direction, maybe some other resources that what might be a better fit for you. All righty. So that wraps up the show. If you found this episode valuable, who else do you know that might as well? Because there's really a good chance that you do know someone else who would. And when their name comes to mind, please share it with them and ask them to click the subscribe button when they get here. If you liked what you heard today, click the like button as well. And whoever you send this way, I'm going to take great care of them also. All right. God loves you, and so do I. Health, peace, and blessings to you. I'm Matt Theriault, living the dream.